Hello everyone and welcome to the Community Spotlight. We are here with sort of part 2 of our Battle Network show. We had a big Mega May show last month and the Team Battle Network community wanted to show more. So we're back here in June with a few more games for you. We're going to be starting off with Network Transmission, and then we've got a Battle Network 3 randomizer race coming up after that. So I hope you all enjoy the show tonight. But before we get into that, real quick, SGDQ 2021 online prize submissions are still open. You can go to GamesDoneQuick.com and find out information about the event and upcoming ways you can participate here in the event. And if you want more information on hotfix shows, you can go to GamesDoneQuick.com/hotfix, where we've got a calendar of upcoming shows, descriptions of all the shows, and there's a submission form in the bottom left that you can let us know about games that you'd like to have on one of our shows. And of course, if you're watching on our YouTube and you'd like to support all our live content, you can check us out at twitch.tv/GDQ. And conversely, if you're watching on Twitch, we put all of our shows on our YouTube. So if you miss any of our shows, you want to go back, check the original Mega May show we did last month, for instance, you can find that over on our YouTube, youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And if you tune in tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Random Number Generation, show about randomizers, randomizer adjacent content, and they're going to have Pokemon Crystal Randomizer. So tune in for that starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. But today, switching back to what we're doing right now, we've got Network Transmission run by Zelo. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, and we've got a couple commentators here joining us. How are all of you doing today?
It's hot, but decent. I'm doing all right.
And that's fatkid. Why don't you all introduce yourselves just so people know which voices belongs to who?
Yeah, I'm fatkid. This is my voice, the British one.
I'm Verallix. This is my voice.
Hello everyone. I'm Smog BN. This is me. Hello.
And hopefully everyone enjoys the show today. Network Transmission is a little bit different from the traditional Battle Network style of games. Why don't you give us a quick overview on, like, for people who caught the show last month, haven't seen Network Transmission before, what can they expect to see here?
Okay, so Network Transmission is a spin-off game. It takes place between the first and second main Battle Network games. It was developed by Arca instead of Capcom. So what they wanted to do is they actually did a platformer in the classic style with Battle Network elements instead of making a full-fledged RPG. So you're going to see kind of a Metroidvania, kind of not, due to how the game's weirdly designed. But you're going to get some really fun classic gameplay with the Battle Network elements mixed in and some really, really good music.
Nice. And of course, Kelios is in chat asking, is this the one where Mega Man dabs?
This is the one where Mega Man dabs. Don't worry, we'll get plenty of that. We about good to go?
Yeah, whenever you're ready. Why don't you give us a countdown?
All right, well, we'll start countdown after the first cutscene because we start with the unskippable cutscene and timings afterwards.
Sure.
So like I said, this is the Battle Network game between 1 and 2. This is the end of 1 right here with the life virus. Funny enough, if you saw the Battle Network 1 speed run last month that Smog did, you noticed that we didn't really fight this guy. So this is the only game where you speed run where you get to fight the life virus. And there's our Mega Dab right there. Get your Mega Dabs in chat. I'm not going to be talking too much during this run. I'm playing with a little more audio lag than usual, so I have 3 very, very good commentators very familiar with this game that can cover commentary while I blaze through everything.
Yeah, I lose to Zello every week, or used to, in races. It's fun.
Technically, I've never lost to Zello.
This is true. He did enter the last race we did and did beat me by just a bit.
Yeah. I always lose to Zello as well. Sometimes as well to fatkid.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
All right, time's
That's
coming
more
up
like it.
in just a bit here. So in, let's see, 3, 2, 1, go.
So, a little bit about the plot. What's happening here? We got a little bit of peace. You know, plot-wise, it's in between Battle Network 1 and 2, and Land's enjoying life. But suddenly, we start hearing about some trouble on the internet. So it's time to explore. If you're not familiar with the Battle Network series, Lan and Mega Man are like a human and an AI. Mega Man EXE is the sort of AI that goes on the internet and fights viruses. This is sort of like if instead of robotics research, everything was about the internet. So Metools or Metars, whatever you want to call them, are viruses in this game. And already, I don't know, fatkid, do you want to talk a little bit about the chips?
Yeah, chips were kind of weird in this game. You have like a mana gauge, which you have to manage. The better the chip, roughly, the more mana it costs to use, and also the higher it is to reg. We reg the sword at the start. It's the same mechanic as in the normal GBA game, but basically you can reg. How would you explain it, Verallix? I guess reg.
Right now you can reg 8 meg chips.
Yeah. Reg
You
just
can increase
is
your
like
reg.
regular. And the regular chip is a chip that you always get whenever you jack into the internet.
Yeah, so that sword is going to be important later, because you always are guaranteed to draw this cannon and I always forget what it's
The
called.
V-gun.
V-gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is going to be nice, because then you can just use the sword on the boss.
So if you're familiar with obviously classic Mega Man, you know that your Buster is your primary weapon. However, in this game, our Buster only does 3 damage per lemon, and most enemies have, at the very, very lowest, like 40 HP. So our main weapon for now is the chips that we get to use. So you can see a bunch of the relevant information sort of in the top left corner. The chip that Zelo has highlighted is Cannon. It does 40 damage, which you can see sort of in the bottom bar. And it costs 8 MB to use. The yellow bar in the top left is HP. The green one is our sort of like mana or MB, if you will. And so Zelo kind of is using the cannons, and he knows roughly how much, or exactly really, how much MB they use. And the final sort of resource that he has to manage is how many of the chips he actually has. You can see either in the bottom left or the top left, in the top left there's like an 03 by the cannon chip icon. That's how many chips he has left. He can replenish them if he gets them as drops from the cannon virus, which you can see right here. Or once you jack out and then jack back into the internet, they get replenished as well. Yeah, this is the Fireman stage. As if you're familiar with the classic series, you'll see a lot of cool sort of nods to the stage design, sometimes the music as well.
Yeah,
And,
a lot of music.
Yeah, pretty cool.
There
This
are
song in
also-
particular, I'm a big fan of.
There are also lives in this game, but hopefully you won't need to pay attention to that at any point unless something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that your lives replenish once you jack out. So obviously that's a lot of time lost because you have to go through a whole stage again, but it means that at worst case scenario, you should never game over in this game.
Shouldn't. This game is very
Yeah.
volatile, so.
Yeah,
This
for
game's
sure.
this game's mean as hell.
Sometimes
So
Zero
fun.
has something to say about that.
Yes. Anyways, anybody who played this game casually probably knows this guy's a jerk.
Mhm.
He's being a jerk still, but
Oh.
Yep.
there. So that's why we reg Sword at the beginning of the level, since we knew we were getting Cannon and V-Gun from the tutorial, and Sword is very good for killing Fireman. We can just eliminate him right there. So a lot of this run's going to be just abusing reg chips so that we guarantee we have what we need for a stage.
Yep. And as you might have seen, we got close to Fireman, and he sort of kept doing this close-up attack that well, he only did it like once or twice.
Yeah, he
that
did it
didn't
once, that was the
hit
idea.
us. Yeah, that was the idea. But it's to minimize the amount of times that he does the attack that's harder to dodge. And usually the goal for that one is just get him before he gets us, which is pretty consistent.
Yeah, because I put heat armor on for a marathon. The current
Yeah.
strat, if you're going for PB attempts at the high land, is to not equip heat armor, and then you
Yeah.
only have enough HP to survive one firearm, so it
firearm.
gets very
Yeesh.
scary.
Yeah.
I
game
heard
has,
Slide under him.
Sorry. I heard that cannon come out, but it didn't fire. Like, I heard Mega Man yell.
That's funny.
Game has a very strange difficulty curve. It starts off incredibly hard, then gets pretty just easier as it goes along until like the very end, where it gets the big
Yeah.
hard again.
This whole
That one kills you.
Yeah.
area of the game is sort of like it's not like an open world sort of thing, but it's the, as was mentioned earlier, sort of the Metroidvania section where there are a bunch of interconnected areas. Right now, what's happening plot wise?
I just barely missed the fast cycle.
After Fireman was going off, they're like, oh, he was infected with the Zero virus. Let's keep that in mind for later. But in terms of speedrunning, obviously, Zelo knows exactly where to go. You'll see some damage boosts probably here and there, which is mostly for like resource management, so you still have some cannons later on, right?
Yeah, I'll have enough.
Yeah.
He only needs to save 5 for Gutsman fight, and he also drew Wide Sword, which is really good for speed, but he missed one Wide Sword. Oh,
No, I'm gonna. Yeah, I picked up that backup one. This is actually kind of bad now.
recovery 10.
Okay, we'll make it work. I think I have enough MP. I'm a little actually concerned about my MP because I might not have enough to kill the spiky.
Yeah, that's why he can't just spam the recovs, because then he'll be out MP.
You have enough
Yeah.
for this fight.
Nope, didn't have enough.
Oh man.
This is going to be the fun part now because, like we said, we don't get the resources back that we use. So now I have to make do with what I've got, which means I have less cannons than I did earlier. This is a good enough draw. Yeah, there's enough to work with
Mini
here.
bombs and mill bombs is a good draw.
Yeah. So you might notice viruses, which are just the regular enemies you see around here, don't have any iframes. So a chip like Mini Bomb, the hitbox stays out for quite a while, so it can do a lot of damage to viruses. Bosses do get iframes for the most part, so they're not as good against bosses, but these are just normal viruses. This is barely even a mini boss. This really just a regular virus.
Yeah, that's why the MP management is so critical.
It's the coolest part of the run, though, in my opinion,
Mhm.
the managing MP part.
Here is Numberman, who is running a little shop, and we're definitely going to be coming back to him. There's some power-up items, various sort of things to increase your stats. I'll try not to say power-up because there is an item that's just called power-up. But obviously you have HP memories, which increase your total HP. You have Mem Up, which increases your total amount of MB, which is like your mana. And in a way, it also sort of increases how fast it regenerates. You have Regmems, which are used to be able to put more powerful chips as your regular chip, which you get at the top of your draw every time. And you have the one that's just called Power Up, which is specifically a Buster Power Up. So I said earlier that our Buster right now only does 3 damage per hit. And there's a point in the run around halfway where it gets a major upgrade. And we'll talk about it more later.
Oh yeah, to put it in perspective, we should probably compare like the free damage it does to how much HP enemies have.
Yeah. So like, how much HP does Gutsman have?
600.
600? Okay.
600.
Yeah.
What? You drew Life Sword.
Yeah, I like how I got all the chips for Life Sword. I'm glad they didn't all come up in a row, because
Yeah,
otherwise we would have gotten the Life Sword PA, which is actually really bad. PAs are actually very
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
but we can actually talk about that later.
One exception.
Oh,
But yeah, that was a clean fight.
they have
Yeah,
cool
fight was good.
animations. They look cool.
They do. They sure do. Shoutouts to Gust Shoot.
Gut Shoot is amazing. Alright, so here's where the game's going to open up a bit more. We're going to have a choice of 4 stages to go now. So we're going to go to the bank first because A, I need to make a withdrawal for one good run after that spiky robbed me.
Yeah.
And B, it's the only stage we can do without needing stuff from other stages.
So this is
Nice
where
big
it
chunk of
gets less Metroidvania-y and more sort of classic. We have the 4 sort of isolated stages that we can go to in any order we like, but as Zelo mentioned, further out, this one makes the most sense.
Let's see if we can get random dash attack in our draw.
Oh, I hope
Nope,
so.
it's Burner! No, it's the
No.
fake.
All right. You know what you have to do.
God, no. Only if I can, like, get it on the last hit.
Yeah, yeah.
I did get shotgun, which is pretty nice.
So once again, we get some more references to Classic. As you might have seen, this is Quickman's stage, so you better be a fan of lasers because they're here. But in my
Sure,
opinion,
like-
much easier than Classic.
Yes, Terra, this
Yep.
is the Dark Souls of Mega Man. People keep clipping times where I die in this game and then just calling it the Dark Souls of X. So I just have a million clips of that, of just me dying. You can die just about anywhere in this run if you're not careful. It's pretty brutal. You go through it with so much less HP than you're intended, and not as many.
Yeah, max HP in this game is 1,000. We end the run with 300 in a normal run.
A lot of
that's enough
things
HP.
just too shoddy. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
Alright, so
Well, this
somebody...
one you get 3.
you do get
Yeah.
3.
Vera should explain how Quickman works and why he's the most fun boss to fight.
Oh, well, Quickman does exactly what you would expect from Quickman. Dash across the entire screen, and he's invincible while you do that, so you gotta interrupt him with the Buster and bait a counterattack. Right now, what Zilla wants is for Quickman to stay on the ground and throw boomerangs over and over. He's not really cooperating, but this isn't the worst pattern of all. Oh,
I
he
don't
doesn't
have enough memory. I was gonna
Aw.
burner.
I
I was
appreciate
actually
the
gonna-
attempt.
No, the money! Okay, we can explain the money going out of bounds if
Oh,
somebody wants to do
no.
that.
Yeah, so money just comes out of bosses like that and spreads everywhere, but sometimes it can literally go out of bounds so you can't pick it up, and that can actually screw over the money routing, so you'll be low on money later. So I don't know why that happens.
I was actually going to ask about that earlier. Like, how tight is the money routing in this game?
Pretty tight, I'd say.
It's
not
not too
that
bad
bad.
now. Oh,
It's-
I almost forgot
Okay,
to buy
it's
stuff.
not that tight, but if stuff like that happens more than once, then it becomes
Yeah.
kind of questionable.
Yeah, if that happens on like Elect Man and Color Man, then it's a problem. But
Yeah, it can be. So I need, by the time we get to the half point in the run, after spending money on some other stuff, I still need 14,000 Zenny to buy the remaining Buster power-ups, and if I don't have that, that's the problem. That shouldn't happen. Hey, Dash Jack.
Ooh.
I tried
Uh,
so hard to make dash tag save time here, but it just doesn't.
I know, but this is like the one stage where it doesn't save time.
Yeah, it's
Well,
this
actually,
one and
I can do it
Star.
right here. Hold on. I can do it right here.
Oh, right,
Oh,
'cause you're from the HP
God.
mem.
Ah.
And I got shot by the popper.
Oh man.
I tried. This is okay. We can make this work.
I
For
mean,
the
you
fans?
can use dash to go through the spikes, right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't get ahead of the cycle that you already make, so
Damn.
Where am I going? I am missing that HP mem up there.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
completely
it's
autopiloted.
taking the
for some
long
reason.
way. It's fine.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
Scenic route, scenic route.
Yeah, that right HP member we normally don't get in a run, but for marathon safety, it's good because it prevents Needleman from two-shotting me, and it's good for a few other places.
Yup.
Yeah. So a good thing to note now, if you're not familiar, Battle Network just has 4 elements and a sort of normal null type. The 4 elements are wood, heat or fire, if you will, aqua, and elect. And obviously, aqua good against fire, fire against wood, wood against elect, elect against aqua. And so we get some elemental viruses and chips throughout the run. As you might be able to guess, this garden comp is a whole sort of
I
wood-based
think I have the HP
area.
for 1 boost. I
You
think.
do.
By the way, that white text that comes up occasionally says standby. That's just the game's sort of built-in pause buffer. You're intended to use it to
Yeah.
pause the game so you can switch chips, but obviously you don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I, due to the way I hold the controller, I accidentally hit the X button, which maps it. So here's the first folder reg right here.
Mhm.
So we're swapping Stone Body out because Stone Body's bad, and we're going to put Heat V in, the ones that I bought from the shop. And these are going to be used to kill Needleman very, very fast because otherwise he's extremely scary.
Yes.
He's actually, I think he's one of the second, third hardest boss in the game.
There we go. No problem.
Yeah, nice, easy
Easy.
pattern.
He
Yeah.
didn't do the invincible attack where he wastes time either.
Oh,
Yeah,
he won't.
Verallix-
If you stand next to him on his second last attack, he won't do it.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, that was something he pointed out to me a while back. It's really nice because if you still have at least 60 HP when you do the heat vet, the fourth heat V, you can just bump into him for contact damage because the contact damage only does 30, and you can guarantee that both you're gonna be able to hit the next attack right next to him, and be able to just avoid that attack altogether. So a nice, very nice strat.
We should talk maybe a tiny little bit about like boss AI. A lot of the time, bosses have sort of like a counterattack mechanic built into them, where if you hit them with a chip attack, they'll attack more or less right away. And sometimes the attack they choose depends on something like how close you are to the boss. Yeah, so a lot of the time, the better runners, i.e. Zelo and Verallix, will keep track of that and have easier patterns for sure. Right here, there's a very important chip that's being grinded.
Doob jump.
Doob jump.
You can probably guess what it does. It's pretty good. You can just ignore levels. Who cares what the designer's
pretty
original
much.
vision was?
As long as you have the memory, you can go anywhere you desire.
Yeah. Speaking of the boss AI stuff, a lot of bosses in this game are very gimmicky, and they have like a shield that just parries your attacks. So a lot of like bosses will be fighting. Zelo will do weird things to make them parry or trick the AI, and then get free hits in. You'll see that on the next boss. Well, the boss after the next one.
Since I already have Shockwave in my draw, I'm gonna actually no. I was gonna just keep this until the mini boss, but since I don't have anything to kill a Shrimpy 2 up ahead, I'm gonna swap out here.
Yeah. So we should talk about the custom screen really quickly. So the folder consists of 20 battle chips, and every time you jack in, you get a selection of 5 of them. 5 sort of quote-unquote randomly chosen. One of them is always the same because it's a regular chip. But the other 4 are randomly chosen, so sometimes there are certain things that are fast if you just get lucky and draw them, like repair. It makes all of the blocks appear, Yeah,
these are usually Yoku blocks, like the disappearing and reappearing blocks. Block puzzles, but they make them all appear. It also makes password things appear in certain spots.
Yeah. And then you also see the custom gauge at the top, the blue bar that's like slowly filling up. You can't select more chips in the middle of a stage until that gauge fills up, and then you get more random chips, essentially. It's random out of your remaining chips. So if you've used, for example, all of your cannons, you won't get to select any more cannons because they're all used up.
So here's one of 2 mini bosses.
This mini boss is dumb.
Oh lord.
I don't know how
especially
you're
since I missed
intended
that.
to be this without Shockwave in like any reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, Shockwave is one of those chips that has a sort of hitbox that stays around for a while. And because these viruses don't have iframes, they just kind of die. It's pretty good.
That was really sloppy getting hit twice at the end there.
Yeah, right. That was so bad. I have to do
It'd be a
this.
shame if you were to die.
Yeah, I definitely don't want that to happen. Like, I worked so hard to get to this. Oh no, I can't get past him. Oh no!
No, you're gonna no. Oh hey, you're already by the exit. Nice.
Yeah,
Easy.
simple. So, a little bit of a death warp right there, since we have to leave through that room anyways. It's just more convenient to just die, have full HP and MP, and we also get to use the Elect Blades that we just drew, that we just read.
Because usually if you go into your chip menu to reg something else, then you lose all access to your chips currently, unless you have a full custom gauge, then you can draw again.
This is Iceman. We get some slippery floor, but usually as long as you dodge the first attack, you literally cannot die. If you have Elect Blades.
Yeah.
You can miss the Elect Blade, I guess.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
hey, at least we're not doing the old strat with tree bombs. I know Fat Kid loves that.
Yeah, I always forget to buy the elect lights, so I just throw them and hope he runs into them.
I remember I did
Question.
that.
What is
Yes.
Go ahead.
Big John says that killing Kirby with a pickaxe seems awful violent.
Don't worry, John. It's only digital Kirby.
Digital
Yeah,
Kirby,
it's
okay.
fine. Internet Kirby. So yeah, that was the waterworks stage. This is the shopping comp. This is the Brightman stage, and it's got some really cool sort of horizontal movement here. How's that draw, Zila?
I'll ask.
Not great, but it's
Yeah.
decent. It's better than drawing nothing. Like, I still have
Yeah.
some shooting chips.
I consider any draw you don't draw nothing a good draw.
Yeah.
Oh, do that.
Ideally,
Yeah, ideally
you
we
want
want, like...
a damage projectile.
Yeah, like a V gun or like
Heat V or Bug V.
Yeah, Heat V. That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah, either of the V-chips are good, because they do 60 damage, which kills the Sparkies in one hit.
Yeah.
So it makes the first room really nice.
Yeah, the chip that we currently have as our regular chip that we got at the beginning of the stage is specifically for the boss, so we're kind of reliant on anything else that we get.
Thankfully, this is a short stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need much, thankfully. I'm going to take this safe since my health's a little low. It's really hard to get ahead of those laser cycles because you have to have like really good movement. So
And
I'd
you
rather
do
just
not
play
want
that
to mess
safe.
with them.
Yeah, for
No.
sure.
They don't screw around.
So
Well-
this is Brightman. He's one of those bosses that I think definitely confuse a lot of first-time players. He's got one of those shield mechanics, and there's this little window at the end of his sort of like taunt animation where he's actually vulnerable, and so we just hit him with his weakness. He's an elect Navi, and we just get him with some tree bombs, and they forgot to program in attacks.
No
What do
kidding.
you- what do
That
you know?
boss is ridiculously hard to find online, but you can just shoot a
Yeah.
buster shot above his head. He does like a carrying animation. As he's using the animation, he's vulnerable, so you can just throw a tree bomb. And then
Mhm.
after he gets hit, you can throw another tree bomb during his iframes, so as soon as he comes back, he can get hit again.
How tight
Yeah,
is the
he's
timing on those
very
tree bombs?
bad.
Like, can you throw it too early? Or
Yeah, you can't
Yes,
throw
it-
it too early.
If you throw it too early, then your first tree bomb that you threw doesn't actually connect. It disappears when you throw the
Yeah.
second. So you end up whiffing, and he does the taunt, and you hit the taunt, and he just blocks, and things go really sour. You don't want anything to happen with him.
That's what I do all the time. I'd throw it a little too early.
But like, as long as you don't throw it too early, is it still pretty lenient? Or like,
Oh,
if you
yeah,
wait
yeah,
too
yeah,
long,
it's-
will he get out of it?
It's not a super tight window. Probably
Okay.
You probably have like 8 or 9 frames to throw it. Just
You
off the
can,
top of my head.
it can be too slow as well, because then you'll
Yeah.
just throw it and it'll hit his barrier, because his barriers come back.
You usually just want to wait until, because you throw the tree bomb and it hits him and he's got iframes, and you throw the other one, and then it stays there for a little bit while he has iframes. So you just want to make sure he gets hit, and that's when you can react and throw the next one. By the way, there's a whole bunch of platforming here that we just skipped because, hey, it's that Doob Jump chip.
Double jump is really cool.
Yeah, we skipped a
Let's do
long
what it-
horizontal backtrack. Let's see if I can get this right here. Yeah, I got the
Do
slide.
levels in whatever way
Oh,
you can
you're
imagine.
But when's the dab jump?
I mean, we've been slide dabbing for the last like 20 plus minutes, so
Yeah.
this
I
is
don't
the
know why-
swaggiest Mega Man game.
I don't know why Dab reminded me of it, but I'm just sad that no speedrun will ever use Slow Fist, the best animation in the game.
You know what I really love in this first room? For some reason, when they localize this, they never changed the bars on the slot machines in the background to go from rock to Mega. They still say rock on them.
I'd never noticed that.
Even though they said anything on them.
It's more like a casino than an arcade, to be
Yeah.
honest.
This is true. But yeah, this is Colorman stage. It's not too bad, but Colorman himself, it can be a little scary.
He's a fight.
In the Japanese
Literally,
version,
this.
Wood Casino? Or is it still called
Uh,
Arcade?
I don't know. I mean, literally the scariest thing that he's going to be able to do is just move forward.
Yup.
Slowly inch his way closer to you. There's
He poses with murderous intent.
yeah. The lower section of Color Man, the sort of like ball that he rides on, is not damageable. But luckily, Bob V has the area of effect that just sort of hits him.
Oh my god, double fire tower.
Oh my goodness.
What are these combos?
Oh my goodness.
He is so mean today. Okay, there. That went alright, but you can see how scary he gets.
Yeah.
The reason him moving forward is so scary is because you have less space to dodge, and he doesn't stop. He will keep moving until he is like face to face with you, and then start throwing balls that you can't dodge.
Yeah.
It's really stupid.
Yeah, the fire tower hitbox is very deceptive. Like the hitbox exists before the fire tower even spawns, so you have to move ahead of it in a really weird way. Alright, so this is like the hardest stage to manage MP on because we need a lot of doob jumps. It's a very vertical stage, but we also need MP for the boss. So we're gonna hope we didn't get tree bomb in our draw, unfortunately. So we're gonna be doing standard strats here.
I'm a big fan of the Electman stage.
I hate this stage.
I understand completely where you come from, but I don't know, something about the speedrun route. I'm just like, it works kind of nicely. There was some more doob jump, just skipping a whole section to the right, cutting out a lot of horizontal backtracking, and there'll be some more doob jump in the next screen as well.
Yeah, if you do the stage the intended way, this is just complete suffering, awfulness.
Yeah, the final room before the boss. You do not want to do that without doob
It
jump.
has like a ladder puzzle, and during the ladder puzzle it has these weird delay electric lasers that do half of your HP if you get hit by them, and there's a tiny window to climb past them.
Here's some more classic vibes. Good old Electman.
A lot of climbing like Mega Man 1.
Yeah.
Electman.
Oh, I made the fast cycle, so that's good.
Yeah, these lasers, I hate them.
Yeah, I feel you.
Alright, we're gonna skip this whole room with 2 doob jumps.
Yeah,
This is the
beauty of
worst room
doob jump.
entire game.
Yeah,
By
I remember the first time I played the game. I was sort of doing like a casual playthrough before I eventually joined in on races, and I learned how to speedrun it. And I gave up and was just like, all right, it's time to go farm doob jumps. I'm not doing this.
It's pretty bad. There is a 100% category for this game, and if you don't get a good draw, you have to play that room straight, and it sucks.
So here's Electman. He's pretty terrifying because you can die in 2 hits, and he summons thunderclouds at the top of the screen, which will move in random directions at random speeds and fire off their attack at random times.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
Sort of 2 counters that are happening here. The first one is with whatever you hit him, he teleports behind you and tries to shock you, and then once you actually hit him with a tree bomb or any other chip, he summons the thunderclouds. Later on, we're going to have to do refights of some of the bosses, and the Electman one is definitely one of my favorites in how it looks. And it's way less dangerous as well, and you'll see why.
You say that, but I've died to him there.
He still hurts.
Yeah. No, yeah, if you get a little too close to him, he still definitely hurts.
Like his finger, he knows his finger is charged, and he just points at you so menacingly.
It is at least one of the few hitboxes in this game that are like generous to you. It's not like half of the screen, even though it's just his finger.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the downtime of the run right here. We're gonna set up some stuff for plot and buy some items so we can make the Buster actually useful. So why don't you guys explain what we're gonna do right here?
Fat kid.
Well, you don't do much. You just face tank through everything and then get the book.
Pretty much.
We don't need chips here because we don't need to kill anything. So just reg the double jump and then just tank everything with the face.
Yeah, luckily over the last, 6 stages, we've grabbed enough HP memories where we can basically just damage boost through all of these. Here is the next area that we need to go through. Since this is the internet and everything, LAN for once thinks it's a good idea. Hey, let's set up a bookmark, a shortcut. So now you can, after you visited that area for the first time, you can jack out and jack right back into that area from Land's house. So now that we've set that up, we actually go back to Number Man's shop.
Yep, conveniently located close by. But the reason they're able to tank so much damage here, well, is because of the HP memories, but also this sort of open world area is you can access early on in the game, and the enemies don't get upgraded. So,
Yeah, so it's a combination of us having more HP and also the enemies still just being very weak.
Starter enemies.
Yeah.
And,
So here we're gonna grab all of the
we
power-ups.
Zodia.
And these are the Buster power-ups. We only really care about attack and charge. Rapid definitely gets ignored in the run.
Yeah,
it's a
Rapid's
very
always
funny
just kinda
stat.
there. Level 5 Rapid is funny. Like, it just see like a machine gun of lemons, but
Yeah.
it's not useful. But
Took,
now that we
what,
have
6 stages, but now we finally have a Buster.
Yeah, so whereas before my Buster was doing 3 hit damage per lemon, now it does 15, and I'll have a full charge that does 90 and a half charge that does 45, and it charges really fast. Which is
Really
good.
fast. You'll see as Zelo holds the charge, there's a green charge and a red charge. Obviously green is halfway, red is full. And it gets to the red charge so fast, and that's the 90 damage one. So, you know, as they say, always be charging. And that's basically one of our main weapon, I would say.
Yeah, the Buster has gone from the worst weapon in the game to the best one.
Yeah.
As a bonus to it, which is for most bosses, it doesn't trigger their counter attack, and
Yep,
it doesn't
it-
trigger their high frames either.
Exactly. Oh, hey, look, that's that stage.
Yeah, old area 1 is
that's
definitely an area.
Yeah. So there was a whole room there, and we just dupe jumped to the exit because we can. What a good ship.
Definitely not busted at all.
But yeah, this stage, this room in particular, because the first room doesn't exist, has some pretty scary platforming when you're first starting out. It's a little easier once you know what you can, what damage you can take, but it's still always a little nerve-wracking because
Yeah.
of the narrow platforms.
Well, by what damage you can take, you mean like
The Megallion at the
hit.
end. Yeah.
one hit and then you can't do damage boost through the Megallion. Yeah, this Megallion is the annoying one. If you can't
Yep.
damage boost through that, you have to do some stupid stuff.
Yeah, you basically would have to thread the needle using dupe jump and get under him, and it's usually you'll just fall in the pit and die if you
Yeah.
try that
Yep.
strat.
And confirm. So,
That would-
as Fatkid said, the Buster doesn't trigger the counterattacks usually, and there are no iframes, meaning that sometimes Swordman here just decides to do nothing. However, he's already throwing some attacks out there, but yeah, no, it is what it is. Ooh,
That's a really
nice.
good
Good fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something I've noticed about that lately is that if you do an attack while the 2 floating swords are still out, I think he just tries to counter with the 2 swords again. I've never seen him do like the stomp attack while he tries to do that.
Really?
So I tried to force the attack right there by using an attack that would make him flinch. But you could
Yeah,
see
this-
right there with the Buster, you could just chip him down real quick and he wasn't doing
Yeah.
much.
The stomp attack is just some attack where Swordman goes to the top of the screen and you can't hit him until he comes back down. So obviously that just wastes time. So
So, Zelu just bought barriers. These aren't just for marathon safety or whatever. These are
no,
these are
these are
like,
the route.
You know, not only makes things faster, but some bosses you actually just need them. Otherwise, their attacks can just kill you because you can't dodge them. It's pretty nice. Just things this game does.
So quick question, now that your Buster does way more damage, does that make the megabyte routing way easier?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's still some management because you still have to use dupe jumps and other stuff. So, but during this section of game right here, it's not too bad.
Program advantages are in this game.
Yeah. If
You'll only see
you
one of them. They're all bad.
notice in the MB bar, the green one in the top left, there's the bright green section and there's a darker green section. The darker green section just shows you how much your selected chip is going to use. So as you can see, Zelo has dupe jump selected, and the dark green area is still like quite a chunk of our MB. So we can only really use At full MB, like how many doob jumps in a row?
4?
Like,
6.
Oh, is it really 6?
yeah, we're not
Yeah.
gonna get that many off in a stage anyway. So
Yeah. But the point being, they still use quite a bit of the MB. So on the one hand, we don't use as many offensive chips, but we're still using some chips that take up a lot of MB. So it's a little of both.
Here's our
Alright.
first use of barriers for both damage boosting and just so you can actually kill bosses.
my select button did not work. There we go. Yeah, I'm playing on an SNES controller instead of a GameCube because it's like way more convenient for me. So that makes regging chips can be a little weird, but you can see barrier, we can just tear right through these enemies right here.
You get iframes after you get hit, and you obviously don't take any damage, whether it be from an enemy attack or a projectile or contact damage. So it's pretty good. This here is Gravity Man.
As
And
Slam
most of what
likes
he does is just stand still.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Don't
didn't
be
do anything
fooled.
until the very end.
Before,
That
this
was-
guy actually does
Yeah,
things,
actually.
and it's incredibly scary when he hits you. He does 1,000,000 damage. But
I was
he
kind
really
of amazed
does.
he just did not do anything at all. That
Last
was
once
points
again-
out that he has a very simple AI.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Buster, not like causing counterattacks immediately, because you can just kind of stand there and wail on him.
It's really funny too, because like the dialogue before that is like, man, he's really dangerous. He has a low level AI, but he's really dangerous, and it's like, no. Hey, we got Buffy. Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
Yeah, as long as you get Gravity Man over with quickly, it's actually not too bad of a fight.
Yeah, but the longer it goes on, there's like 3 projectiles chasing you at
Yeah.
once, and then he tries to like suck you in with gravity. You have to spam slides.
Yeah, I remember when I played this the first time casually, I had a lot of trouble at the beginning of the game, and then from like Iceman to Swordman, I was like, oh, this is easy. And then Gravity Man just like wrecked me.
This is Starman stage. Got some low gravity, even though it's no grav, but you take what you can get right here. Having
Yeah.
Buffy is really good for this stage, and Vera can explain why for the mini boss.
Ah, yes, what is it, Big Yort?
Yep.
The Big Yort, its hitbox is way at the back of it, and you can't really hit it with any chips. Well, you can, but good luck actually hitting it.
Yeah, you have to like thread a needle, thread a thing.
Had 3 needles through like
Yeah.
2 pieces of string while holding upside down. It's stupid, but we can just cheat, so it's fine.
Yeah, we can just cheat and hit it, any part of it really with Bub V or Heat V, or V gun or shotgun or bubbler. And after
Much
5
better.
Bub Vs, we end the fight real quick, as opposed to staying there for the 3 minutes it would take using the uncharged Buster.
Nice.
Yep.
That little narrow spot is all you
Oh.
get.
I'm glad I was at full health. Spikes
Oh,
in this
Jesus.
yeah, spikes in this game don't insta kill you, but they do 200 HP of damage. So
This is, I think, the first boss we've come across that has a potentially undodgeable attack pattern.
yes, this guy is a jerk.
Depending on where he's positioned on the screen, he will throw down stars and you actually can't dodge them. So
What are you doing?
Kill you.
The thing.
Oh man, already.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's okay. We're good.
Okay, that was another undodgeable one. Okay.
Yeah.
Money.
No, the coin.
Yeah, it's just taunting me. That's okay. Money isn't going to be too much of a big deal. Since I didn't pick up a safety 8 half energy earlier, I have 1,000 more Zenny than I would for a marathon route, so this is okay.
That fight could have gone better, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, usually what happens is you can sort of lock him into doing one move that you didn't even see in this fight with half charge shots, but he has to actually do that move first, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's still random if he counters with Star Arrow
Yeah.
or if he does the meteor showers.
Yep. So he didn't even do it, so there was no chance to lock him into it.
He also gives us a very important chip for one stage, which is going to be pretty familiar with Mega Man 5 fans.
Okay, so the old strat for the stage coming up used to have Doob Jump, so we could get around a little faster, but the boss fight is awful. By far the worst fight in the game. So I was playing around with some ideas last weekend during a different marathon, and I actually came up with this new strat, regging barrier at the start. So we can use barrier to get through the stage even faster, and then we can use that for the boss as well without having to switch to it mid-fight if something goes wrong. Because somebody should explain how Zero works, because I don't want to. I hate him.
So Zero has a desperation move when he's below 50%, I think. It's called Phantom
Zero.
He just slashes his sword and it covers the entire screen. You might be thinking you got to be able to dodge it, but if you see it, you'll see why you can't. So you need barriers for that.
And not only is it undodgeable, it does 300 damage, which is how much health we have right now. Well, it's as much health as we can have right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Zelly's doing the close strat. Yeah, they're staying close to zero-ish to bait out a certain attack, and he has a counter attack window too, so you have to hit him first, then he counters, then you can hit him.
Oh, he's not playing nice at all.
Yeah, this is not going well.
Oh, ooh. Okay, well.
Email.
Yeah, that's fine. There you go. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that, but I figured I had health. I could just try and bait the sword. So yeah, you can see the giant double slash thing that he did. There's nothing you can do to stop that. You must have barrier or somehow damage boost off his body to avoid it. And if it hits me, I die. And thankfully, that didn't happen.
Boss, right?
There's also an invis chip, I guess you could use, but that's not in the route.
You can also use dash attack.
Oh yeah,
you can. Now, have you actually managed to successfully dash through those? Because I haven't.
I have actually. Only once in a run.
Fun fact: I have used burner to dodge them, so you can do that too.
Yeah, there's certain chips. Certain chips like dash attack or burner give you invincibility for the duration of the attack.
And the scariest boss fight is at least out of the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, plot-wise, we defeated Zero. It's like, yeah, all the virus stuff is going to go back normal, right? But then we get this mysterious man named the Professor,
who is just we were pretending to talk about plot earlier. People getting infected by the Zero virus. Starman was giving out fake vaccines. It made me go crazy. Mega Man got the Zero virus or something, but it's fine. He got better. Everything's cool.
Wait. Mega Man caught the virus, but he just got better?
He got better.
He got a cure or something like that.
His dad's like, don't worry, I know.
I'm a data
going on.
magician.
Yeah, he's like, yo, I got this, and then he just does something, and then magic sparkles come out, and then Mega Man's like, I'm not tired anymore. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's good during COVID pandemic. He meets everyone virtually. He wears his mask, and he fights viruses.
It's true. Can't confirm.
So
basically,
the undernet here as well to meet Proto Man. He's a boss fight in this game, but ain't gonna be fighting.
Optional.
Just casually visiting the undernet.
Yeah. So, like we were saying, the Professor used the cells from the fake Zero virus vaccine in order to revive the life virus, and they stuck him in the outer net. And when we try to go to the undernet, we're not able to go there because they put a trap on it. So we're gonna go look for information on how to disable that trap.
Mm-hmm. So here we get a choice of 2 stages once again. First, we're gonna take a trip back in time and see what the internet looked like back in the ancient Egypt days.
Yeah, this is gonna be before dial-up was invented.
Yeah,
probably
the internet in ancient Egypt days. What?
Yeah. Trust me.
It'll all make sense.
Thankfully, we still have Doob Jump, so that's going to be used to not only get to the stage, but also go by Number Man since he's conveniently right next to him. We're going to buy a few more power-ups.
Also, I should mention, LAN is using the Battle Network 3 PET here, given that it takes place between BN1 and 2. I'm just mentioning that because I assume somebody's going to bring it up and be like, you didn't mention it. So there it is.
It's true.
Fun fact. Hope everyone enjoyed that fun fact.
Got any more fun facts, Fat Kid?
Nah, I'm all out.
Oh, darn.
No, he's saving all his facts for BN3 after this.
Yeah,
It's okay.
exactly.
We'll let him slide.
Alright, fun fact. Did you know this game only came out 2 months apart from another Battle Network platformer called Rock Band EXE Wonderswan on the Wonderswan color?
Wow. I
I
didn't.
wonder
Did
who
you
worked on
know
that
there were
game.
2 Battle Network platformers?
I know.
Hogface?
So here's your grandparents' internet right here.
Yeah.
You also get some really, really sweet music.
Oh yeah, for sure. This stage has, I think, probably some of the biggest rooms in all of the stages. So we used Dupe Jump a little earlier, and then mostly in the next screen we're gonna reg barrier to ignore a lot of the enemies.
All right, made that spike cycle. That last jump out of the spike pit's a little tight.
Yeah.
If you bonk it, you're dead, and that's like a minute loss. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're gonna be able to just reg barrier right here and just run to the end of the stage. This is just a lot of sliding right here.
Yeah, some of these enemies can really cause a few headaches. Specifically, the certain ratties in certain positions. The ratty being the little rat virus-looking thing. If you notice, there's a tan-colored one and a gray one. The tan-colored one is like the weaker version of it,
Yeah,
and the gray one is the strongest. Yeah, so
The gray one does like no damage, and the gray one does like 500
a
million,
lot of damage.
approximately.
So that one that was just kind of next to the kill floor, like the one we're gonna see right here on the other side of this wall. That's my wife's favorite ratty because he just kind of goes back and forth really, really fast. So my wife names him Shushu. So we say hi to Shushu when we can.
Yeah.
Shushu has also ended some runs before we started using barrier there.
Yeah,
So
I can imagine.
I'm not the most fond of him.
I always use barriers there, the one thing I was doing first.
So this is Pharaoh Man. Like a lot of other bosses, if you just use the Buster, sometimes he just decides to float around. And
or he
it's
summons
actually
like
super
500
nice.
poison pharaohs and makes the fight a complete nightmare. Alright,
He
so
did
Anubis.
one
that's,
attack.
Anubis.
Wow.
One attack. You even hit him with a chip, and he only did 1 attack.
that boss
know,
has
right?
mechanics, but he didn't do any of them, so I don't need to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, we won't go into the Anubis statue being on the field because that's the worst thing, and you don't need to hear about that because otherwise I'd rage.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why, more or less as soon as we can, we max out the Buster. Because it's so good. It's so good. So one quick thing is that when you defeat a boss as part of the story, they will drop a chip. That's sort of like a signature move. And then if you fight them additional times, you can get a specific Navi chip, which sort of summons them to attack. So we don't have any Navi chips, but we have the signature move chips. And Starman drops this chip called Star Arrow, which sort of summons a platform in front of you that starts moving in whatever direction you're facing. We're not going to use it in this room, but the next room is very fun. It's a good room. It's a good room.
Tara has pointed out that I actually didn't come up with it first and stole it from him, but I was hoping you didn't say anything.
I believe it. I believe it.
Very important, use the star arrow standing still. Smog has
Yep.
learned about 5 times.
I almost forgot to slide and I almost fell right off. Also, we
As you
just
can
casually
see-
outpaced our lemons.
Yeah.
And just
And
like
then they're
that,
catching
most
up.
of the stage is over.
Yep.
Yeah, that
time
seems
for my
a
least
lot
favorite
right
boss in the
there.
game.
Yeah, the boss here is Shadow Man.
I'm assuming
And
you're not doing Verallix's stupid strat.
No, I'm gonna go for the normal. I'm gonna grab the health just in case
Right.
I screw up.
He doesn't even have a reason. He has M cannon already.
yeah.
True.
Yeah,
Shadow
normally
Man
this is a really tough fight, but
hits
if we
really
just do
hard.
this, yeah, he hits hard. But we're just gonna kind of lock him up here for a bit.
He's really hard to dodge.
Here's
So I
where
took the health.
actually triggering his counterattack really helps us. Yeah, good thing you took that health, man. Whew. But yeah, if you just keep hitting him with a chip like a cannon, he will always teleport to the top and do the sort of downward slash, and we can just lock him there. You can do it without getting hit. It's just if he spawns at the leftmost location, it's like a pretty tight timing.
As you can clearly see,
Yeah.
Zello is still getting almost 2-shot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right, and that brings
Yeah.
us to the end of the run right here. So
That
you
was
guys should
all of
explain
the
program
stages.
advances.
So, if you're familiar with Battle Network, maybe you are perhaps familiar with program advances. The concept is you take usually 3 or 4 chips and you use them. You pick them in a certain order, and they sort of combine into one strong attack. So, for example, one of the ones that a lot of people know, it was a big deal in the anime, was sword, wide sword, and long sword. And in most Battle Network games, that creates a program advance called Life Sword, which has like a wide. It covers a lot of area, and it does like 400 damage in most Battle Network
I didn't
games.
rig dupe jump.
Oh no!
That's fine. We'll fix that. So it does take a little bit of time to fix that, but that's okay.
There are also
It happened
program
last run,
advances in this game. Not as many, but they're pretty funny. A lot of them have some really entertaining animations. Guts Shoot is a prime example, and most of them are not very useful. But there is one that is very, very useful for this part of the game. What's it called? What's its official name? Zeta Cannon?
Zeta Cannon.
And in this game, you take the chips in this specific order: Cannon, High Cannon, M Cannon. And what it does is it gives you invisibility, which is sort of like invulnerability, for approximately like 10 seconds, and you have unlimited cannon shots for that time, and they do as much damage as the M cannon, which is 120 damage. You're gonna see it very soon, and it's basically our main weapon for the remainder of the game, along with the Buster. As we mentioned earlier, our chips don't get refreshed usually in the middle of like while we're in the internet, but there are some specific plot points coming up where our current draw gets refreshed. So once we draw Z Cannon, we can sort of keep it till the end of the game. Right now, Zelo has to go.
Thought he was gonna die when he took that fall.
Yeah. Right now, Zelo has to go through a bunch of his chips. Remember, he has 20 chips in his folder, so he's just using a bunch of them quickly, so he can get to the rest of them and find the chips that he wants, which are the program advanced chips, Cannon, High Cannon, M Cannon, as well as Tree Bomb and Heat V.
So what they're just doing right here is just using the single-use ones, so they won't be reshuffled into the folder while they're looking for the chips they actually want. And they got it. Could have gotten it faster, but that's not bad at all.
Yeah,
Not
the
bad
old
at all.
strat. The old strat used to just use 5 full cuts and pray for it, but we do a more consistent thing now where we can just burn through everything that we don't need, and that guarantees that we'll have everything within 3 draws, which is really nice because it makes the run consistent. Because you
Mabel.
need Z Cannon to finish the run.
Mabel used to do it that way too.
This was a firewall. We're on the internet, remember?
That was
But
a
what Zelo did was he just got the PA, the program advance, got invis, went up really close to it, and just kept on shooting it when it was vulnerable.
That was a really good firewall.
Yeah.
They upgraded it with
Yeah.
miniguns.
And then here are boss refights. It's just the first 8 bosses? Yeah, 8
First 8.
bosses.
6.
8.
I can't count, don't look at me.
It's 8.
I mean, to be fair, there's only
is.
0s and 1s in programming, so it's just a bunch of bits. Nobody needs to count higher than 1.
It's the first 2, the middle 4, and then the other 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Story-wise-
see? Oh, I can count to 8.
Story-wise,
I can't,
it's all
clearly.
of the it's all of the bosses that got infected with the Zero virus or whatever, except like
Except
Color Man
technically Color
never
Man,
did,
but whatever.
he's here anyway. I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, here's Bright Man again.
Yep.
Bonk. Bonk.
Good, you didn't have to see Brightman do anything.
So
Or
we
Iceman just
mostly
running around.
use the Buster for a bunch of these bosses, with the exception of Needleman, since we got the Heat Vs anyway. Brightman, since we can use the tree bombs against him, and we usually use the program advance on Quickman because he's annoying.
This fight's gonna be so much better. Because I'm not triggering counterattacks like every other attack.
Yeah.
He's no longer moving forward ominously.
Yeah. So you'll see as well for the Electman fight, because he's not
What the
triggering
big-
the lightning cloud counterattack, he's just going to be continuously teleporting behind us, and we sort of loop him, and it's one of my favorite things. He just points at you menacingly.
I love how he's just wiggling his finger rapidly. You.
So that was a very good boss rush. So
Yeah.
nice. All right, so we're coming up to the end of the game right here. So just a little cutscene and 2 forms of the final boss.
Yep. So between the firewall and the boss rush, we got our chips refreshed. Yeah, we did. And then between this boss rush and the final boss that's coming up, we also get our chips refreshed. So as I mentioned earlier, we just had to find the program advance that one time, and then we can carry it with us till the end of the game.
Shoutouts to Roll's one animation, so she's just
Yeah.
sitting here now. Also, Roll gives you folder back, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you do get the anime opening here while we get to Mega Dab, so it's the perfect
Yeah,
end.
About 3 seconds of it.
And then here is the Life Virus R. He has an aura, which you need to do 100 damage or more to break, or whatever its elemental weakness is. However, we're not really going to be paying much attention because we're essentially just using M Cannon, giving him iframes, Charge Shot, which doesn't do iframes, into M Cannon. Time's going to come up when the floating red core is deleted.
How much damage does this core do if you make contact?
300.
300. Okay, so don't make
300.
contact with it. Got it.
The red bubbles that it drops only bring you down to 1, but they can't kill you. And
Time.
yeah, there you go. GG.
There, we got to actually fight the Life Virus since we didn't get to last month.
Yay.
So, all in all, a pretty fun run to always do. And most of this run went pretty good. What was the final time on that?
57:22 by my timer.
Okay, considering like some of the mistakes that happened, like an early death and having to jack out at the beginning of the last split, that's a perfectly fine time. Like, this game is very volatile, and it's very difficult to recover from mistakes, but you just kind of make it work. And it's seen a lot of improvement. Like, this run right now was actually faster than the world record than last time this run was shown at a hotfix. So this run has been improved by 3.5 minutes since then, and it's me and Vera getting on the strats and just the Team BN community really supporting us has really helped push this time down. So I want to give a big shout out to you all.
Yay. This is a fun game, though. It's definitely, if you play through it casually, not knowing what to expect, it's a bit punishing, but definitely coming from it to it from a Battle Network perspective, it's a lot of fun. It's cool seeing how they transferred a lot of the mechanics into a platformer.
I agree. A lot of people don't like this game, but I think it's pretty cool. I like it.
It definitely has a lot of really great ideas, and the good parts really stand out, like the music and just like the overall idea of the chips, like what they carried over from BN1 and BN2.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for having me for Network Transmission. Thanks, Verallix, Smog, and fatkid for helping me with commentary on this. We can go ahead and get set up for BN3 Rando.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if you had shoutouts, and you did it on your own, so thanks. Just like Zila said, we're going to take a quick break here, then we're going to move on. So stick with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.